Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton clashed last night in the final showdown here on Channel 7. The two leaders went head-to-head debating some of the country's biggest issues.
The Prime Minister promises a Band-Aid on a bullet wound.
They deserve better than this pretence that everything was hunky-dory in 2022.
The verdict from a panel of undecided voters was a win for the PM, but will this be enough to get Labor over the line on May the 3rd? For more, 7 News political editor Mike Riley joins us live in Sydney. Good morning to you. Peter Dutton really needed to land some blows. Do you think he did?
I actually think he did. He certainly came out with a more combative approach than the previous debates, and I think in a way, Nat, my view was that he won the debate but somehow lost the audience. He was much more aggressive than he had been in the previous debates. We got through the serious issues on the top of taxation, also their opposing views on energy in the future there, but on some of those smaller issues at the end of the debate, the common issues, I think he let himself down a bit, and so did the Prime Minister, frankly.
Yeah, we might go to that. They were both asked a lot of just, everyday issues, weren't they? It was the price of eggs that actually tripped up Peter Dutton. Let's take a look at this. Here is a dozen eggs. Mr Dutton, do you know how much they cost?
About $4.20.
No, you might get half a dozen.
There you go. It's the Sunny Queen 12 eggs from Woolies. They're $8.80 from Coles. They're slightly cheaper at about $8.50. So, Raz, a lot of people would say, look, these are busy guys. They may not be buying a lot of eggs. Who cares? But this really captured the jurors, the undecided voters, didn't it?
It sure did. And why? Because any of us who do the shopping weekly know that even finding eggs is a challenge, but that the price has gone up sharply over the last couple of years. And it's a great discussion around the streets, suburbs and kitchen tables of Australia. Why is that important? It's important because it tells the voters that the leaders are in touch with their daily pressures, and if they don't know the price of eggs, then what do they really know what it's like to be running a family budget, to be paying the mortgage, to be running the car, to taking the kids to school, to affecting that work-life balance. Once this happens in political terms, very hard to unscramble that egg. But on the other side, Anthony Albanese trying to convince people that Donald Trump doesn't have a mobile phone and therefore that's why he can't get his number. I mean, this guy owns a social media site. We know that he tweeted incessantly and now uses Truth Social incessantly, Covfefe. So, I mean, it just didn't cut the mustard. So I know that people will say, well, these are only minor issues. Yeah, maybe, but they connect and they're insights into the characters of the leaders.
Yeah, you're right. And what journalists and newspapers and radio and TV journalists think are important issues, not necessarily what people out there think are important issues. And everyone can vote however they want to vote on whatever issue they want to vote on. Let's talk about this last one.
Yeah, real world, real life issues.
Exactly. Even if they just don't like the look of the guy, they can vote on that if they want to. Voters also got behind Mr Dutton on this one, the welcome to country, and the acknowledgement of countries. He says they're divisive and they're overdone. What did you think about his comments on that?
Yeah, look, I think a lot of people would agree with Peter Dutton. I think there was a subtlety to what he said. He wasn't saying we can't have these acknowledgements because they are a necessary, I think, and a polite recognition of the people who inhabited this country before white settlement. And I don't think anyone argues with that. His point, though, which I think a lot of people will agree with, is that they are now too commonplace and that they lose their value, that they are devalued, in his words, by being used so frequently, and that they should be perhaps preserved for big occasions. And then the Prime Minister didn't really push back too strongly on that. He seemed to say that he just abided by protocols that were established. But I thought that was really interesting, and we know that Peter Dutton has already said that he won't stand in front of the Indigenous flag because he wants all Australians to stand behind one flag so you don't have three behind you, and there's a bit of debate about that. But I think also I'd be really interested to hear from Indigenous leaders what they think about welcome to country and acknowledgement of traditional owners, whether they think it is being devalued by being used too frequently.
Okay, the bus has stopped. How's everyone going on the bus? You journos there, you hard-nosed people.
I think, how's everybody on the bus this morning? They're apparently asleep. I don't know. No, I think we're on. I can give you a traffic report. We're just coming now on the Pennant Hills Road. The traffic seems to be running fairly smoothly in a northerly direction. And to the south. So all running well.
Excellent. We'll leave it to you. Thank you very much, Mike Rowley, our Chief Political Correspondent on the last 6 days of the campaign.